right, here I am, Michael Pearl, at the door to answer your Bible questions, and here's one that Ray sent in. I would be interested to hear Michael's view of whether Jonah died in the whale's belly and descended into hell, as some are saying nowadays. As one put it to me recently, Jesus was saying that Jonah's story is the same as his own burial for 3 days. I have never heard this view. What do you think? Thank you. So he wants to know, I have not heard this either, that there are people teaching that Jonah died and went to hell or the grave or somewhere for 3 days and then was resurrected like Jesus was. I have one Bible verse that answers that. It was real easy. You go and you type in Jonah, King James Bible, Jonah, and up comes every mention of Jonah. And then read down through it and you come to this passage. But Jesus answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. There shall no sign be given unto it but the sign of Jonah the prophet. For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly. Where was Jonah for 3 days and 3 nights? In the whale's belly. Not in hell. He was in the whale's belly. That's a real easy question to answer. I appreciate a question like that. So shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So Jesus was very careful to distinguish. The similarity was 3 days, not where they went. Jonah was in the whale's belly, Jesus in the heart of the earth. Why anybody would get off on something like that, I have no idea. Now, I knew from the past that there was the story back in the 1800s down around the Falkland Islands of a whaling ship, and a whaler got swallowed whole by a whale. You have to be whole since they don't have teeth. His name was James Barclay. He lived between 1870 and 1909. So in the late 1800s, a sperm whale swallowed him. Now they thought he was gone for good. They caught the whale, and it died of indigestion. They caught the whale and cut it open, like they do, to get the fat out of it, and up pops James Barclay, still alive, white and bleached out. Some reports was that he was blind, others said he got his sight back. And so they began to call him Jonah, the resurrected Jonah story. And there was an article printed in the newspaper called the Mercury newspaper of Great Yarmouth in England, Yarmouth Mercury. It was August 22nd, 1891 that the article was printed. And they called him the modern day Jonah. And they described the events that happened there. 18 years later, he died. And in Gloucester, England, on his tombstone, it reads, James Barclay, a modern day Jonah. Now, probably if the whale had been in the water, he would have drowned. But since he was swallowed and the whale was harpooned and tied to the ship, water drains out of the belly, then he was able to get air. Big old gaping mouth and open there, and he was able to get air, but the gastric juices worked on him. So he was swallowed by a whale and was in the whale's belly, not for 3 days and nights, but for half of that period of time. Now, God could keep Jonah alive inside the whale's belly. He provided a paradise in hell for Lazarus and Abraham in Abraham's bosom. And Jesus was resurrected from the dead, so certainly God could have performed a miracle to protect Jonah for 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly. Not that that applied to the story, but I just thought it was an interesting tidbit on Jonah. That's the answer to that question. Whale's belly, 3 days and nights.